6 months ago, this place was unknown to everyone. Today I'm going to show you what happens when an urban exploration is posted online. This place is a huge holiday village. A small group of young people enjoyed exploring and breaking things here, even sharing the location on TikTok. Now let's see what's left 6 months later. I swear you're not ready for this. It's total devastation. So, there has been damage, there's a stretcher lying around, and fire extinguishers have been ripped out everywhere. So this is a spot I found more than 2 years ago. 2 years ago it was brand new, and you'll see that's no longer the case. Alright, let's be careful. There are cameras, there are things around. But let's assume that if we hurry up a bit, we'll have time to get out before the guard shows up. You'll see what happens when the address of an abandoned place leaks on the internet. So, this place was unknown to everyone, and one day, a young guy posted the address online. Here's what happened in under 6 months. There wasn't a single broken window, there wasn't the slightest problem. And one day someone leaked the address, and here's what happened. That's triple glazing right there. They invested resources. It was an incredible place. Look, if you want to get an idea of the place, you see. So, I don't really know where we're going to start, how we're going to finish. We're going to try to rush through the place a bit because it's huge. There's a kitchen there, the place is really gigantic. Since we saw cameras and it's likely monitored after being broken into, we shouldn't stay long and should move quickly. Because there's really a lot to see. That's part of it. So they used to bring kids here for summer camp to let them discover a bit of the little pleasures of the South. That used to happen often at a certain time, but now it rarely does. There's another camera over there. They're everywhere, so it will be a mess. If we don't get caught here, it's a miracle. Like I said, it happened a lot back then. This kind of vacation village in the south, we used to come and build them often, either in the south or sometimes in Auvergne. That was also very common. We used to build these kinds of little vacation villages to bring kids to another region. I have no idea where we're ending up. Laundry room. I'm not sure in what order we'll visit this, since we lack much information about what, where, when, or how. We can imagine that this wasn't in this state a few months ago. 6 months isn't much. You see, in 6 months a lot can happen. Things can really change very, very, very quickly. Yeah, there are still kids' bikes and everything. Be careful, there's a camera on the pole. Cameras are everywhere. It's a mess. I think it's interesting to show you this because it's part of our French heritage. All these stories, did they come here to smash up a scooter? Oh wow. It was stripped, the thing, there's nothing left. Damn, seriously, you guys are relentless. What was that? Was it torture rooms to lock up passing kids? Not at all, it was for storage, mainly to put things away. So it's full, it's just a bit of a mess. But normally, absolutely everything was left in the place. The remains of a pressure washer. Honestly guys, they really messed things up, it's crazy, huh? In not even 6 months, can you believe it? Less than 6 months ago, it wasn't like this. Everything was tidy, the fridges were lined up nicely, everything was ready, and that's it. Actually, I had already scouted this place a while ago and I saw the cameras, so I left. And back then, really... It was last summer, about 6 months ago, and it was brand new. It was brand new. Since I saw the cameras, I took off. And actually, if I had known, I would have done the exploration for you back then anyway, because honestly, the place was completely different. This door just won't open. Is anyone there? Let's hope not. Oh. I've already lost my colleague. I don't know where he is, and I don't know where we are either. This was probably a kitchen here, maybe cold rooms or something. Boy, girl, maybe because of the colors? No, it was definitely kitchens. Worktop, stuff like that. The guys broke the windows with the fire extinguishers. Seriously, you guys are geniuses. Sometimes you kids are evil geniuses, really, but there's not a single window that hasn't been broken. You know what I mean? So 6 months ago, everything was perfect, and look, they smashed everything. The kids did. It's crazy, right? They're just 15-year-old kids who did this. That's the craziest part. Please educate your children so we don't face situations like this. What? Well, I also think it's not just kids. Because actually, there's a gypsy camp right next door, and that's gypsy stuff, that is. Clearly, they're scrapping the camp. So, we came today on a day when the weather is awful. Because we know that usually when the weather is bad, they stay in their caravans. They don't come here to cause trouble. since I wouldn't want to run into them. You see, they also ripped out the plumbing because copper brass, the brass from the faucets, it's worth money. It sells for a good price. Per kilo, I think brass is around 6 euros and copper must be around 8 or 9 euros when resold. That's why guys rip everything out. You see, they take down the false ceilings, they make them fall like that, so they can pull out all the cables from the ceilings, all the electrical cables. That's mainly how they profit. Afterward, they strip and pile them up, burn them to recover copper, leaving the plastic behind. And often they do this in the forest or in vacant lots. Sometimes they even do it right on the spot. And often it leads to fires. It looks like there's a stage over there, really, that show thing. I'm trying not to get too lost because the place is really huge. There are, I don't know how many buildings in there. There's even a soccer field and stuff. He's still over there. Listen, we're going to walk around a bit like this, and then, that's it, we're just going to stroll around. The problem with places this big is that you never know where to start. It's really a mess. That used to be a classroom. There were school benches with chairs. There was a blackboard over there in the back. Maybe they also gave them some lessons. Just before, in the restaurant, you can see how big the place is and the buildings in the back. I think we'll quickly finish with the ones on the left at the back of the place, and then we'll go see the rest. I think it's better to focus first on what's near the entrance, close to the cameras. That way, if the guard shows up, he'll come looking for us there first, and in the meantime, we'll go check out the rest. After that, we can escape through 50,000 different places. Here you see these were clearly classrooms, each with a whiteboard, tables, desks, chairs, and it was all set up for school. I'm all alone, I lost my colleague, I don't know where he is. We'll end up running into each other again. You see, when I tell you it's huge, it's the kind of place where you can walk around all day without seeing anyone. That's how big it is, it's cool. Vacuum sweeper. She's not from here, she really comes from the people of the colony. Alright, we're gonna go to the end of this path where the cameras were and see what's hiding over there. I really hope I don't even know if those cameras are still running. Because that one looks pretty new, they all look really new. It was always a bit unsettling. We're still going to check out these houses a bit because you see there are lots of buildings, it's full of little houses. You see there was a wooden arch that literally collapsed here. Let's see what's inside. There's still a defibrillator here, seriously. Someone pulled it out. But they stole it. Look at these outfits. Welcome, it smells musty. Looks like it was renovated a bit. It's being scrapped. The guys are taking all the copper everywhere. I think depending on the day you come, there are wet marks. Maybe it was a colleague who came before me, but still, you have to be careful. It could also be the guard who came before me. Kitchen? I think if you come on a nice day, you'll find guys cutting wire here, that's for sure. There's a sensor up there too, that one is old. No entry private, that probably wasn't supposed to be... Oh damn, there's someone yelling up there. Hopefully people won't start yelling. If it's quiet, they know we're here, but we don't know. We have to be careful. Maybe those were the rooms for the staff who took care of the kids here. There must have been a lot of staff to manage this whole place. You see, these were rooms, you know, a little fridge area, sofa beds, and that's it. It's sad, huh? It's really in bad shape. Can you believe it? Once again, just 6 months, it's shocking. They painted here, I don't know, yellow stuff everywhere. Wow, did something burn here or what? Look at this, triple glazing. It looks like it burned there, it's all black on top. Yeah, something definitely burned here. I don't know what they did, but they started a fire. It's heartbreaking, it's devastation, just look at this. This used to be the reception area here. There's something that burned on the ground there. This was literally the reception area here, you see? Ah, those yellow things there. Oh no, it's not that something burned, it's printer ink. They broke the ink cartridges, that's printer powder. There's yellow, blue, black, there must be magenta, red. Maybe there was none left in the machine, or they didn't break it enough to get it out. Yeah, that's it. They smashed the printer cartridges, those idiots. There's the alarm box. It doesn't seem to be working clearly. Good for us. We're actually entering the management office. Those keys there, that's a safe. It would be amazing to find a big safe. No, it's just a cabinet. Keys for I don't know what. Maybe we'll find a vehicle somewhere around here. Another server computer, more alarm boxes. You see they're scrapping everywhere. The guys are literally scrapping the building. And that was the director's office. No, the headmistress is actually, it was the headmistress. Apparently it was a lady who managed the place. There was a nice office, really nice. The office was actually clean, it's a shame. That furniture is expensive, it's worth a lot. It's wild that all this will just rot here. Until people destroy it and only crumbs remain. It's disheartening, really, it's a scandal. I don't understand, I just don't understand. What do you get out of just coming here to break things? Just coming to breaking just for the sake of breaking. Honestly, that's something I just can't understand. I don't see what that can bring you in life, bro. A quick look at the entrance. There doesn't seem to be any movement. I really hope that camera isn't recording. Because there's a guy showing up over there. There's a guy showing up with a dog. There's a guy showing up with a dog over there. We should be careful. He just walked by the edge. But if that's the guard, it wouldn't be surprising if he had a dog. Let's go check in there. I'm not sure what it was, but there was definitely something. It's just the guy with his mutt over there that worries me a bit. I really hope he doesn't show up here. But if he does, I'll just explain what I'm doing here. And usually, it goes fine. Is that blood or is it red paint? Well, here it is. Here's our cyan, here's our magenta. I shouldn't move it too much. It's ink. I'm going to get it all over my shoes afterwards. I don't get why they did all this or why they broke it so badly. There was a locker with the fire extinguishers too. It was nice. I'll zoom out a bit so we can see better. Look, a little library there. It was nice. A small room. For younger children, judging by the chairs here. The Larousse, the old Larousse dictionaries, they've really taken a beating. It's a shame. Ah, there you go. That's the thunder. An ink powder cartridge from our printer over there. It's the same here. These are classrooms. This used to be a classroom here. Look, I can't really go over there. It's a mess. They've pushed the furniture and everything. It was a classroom. It's crazy. The way it is now, it's really upsetting. There's really not a single window that's... I've been looking for an unbroken window this whole time. So far, I haven't seen one. It's crazy to reach this level of stupidity. It's honestly pretty insane. Alright, welcome to the classroom. 2000, the book about the thing. It's been abandoned for quite a while, but it was abandoned a long time ago, and it was abandoned in perfect condition. They even threw stuff into the walls, damn. Fire extinguisher powder on the floor, that white-blue powder there. Library. It's crazy, everything that's left. I'm amazed by everything that's still in there. They could have done something with this place. There are still closed doors, so they definitely had options. I don't get why they left it like this, since there's so much money here. The land is massive, hectares large, with countless buildings, rooms and other things. Seriously, do something with it. We complain enough that there aren't places in France to welcome young people or others. You want a place to welcome people? Here, there's everything you want, you know? Make us some rooms, some stuff, and then, that's it. People will be able to come live here peacefully. Well, anyway, they could have, because right now, clearly, there's going to be some work to do first. There's going to be a bit of work to do first. Doro left. I saw some things at any moment. There could have been a huge party here. Look, it's the same. A library? Why did they tag it like that? I don't understand. There are still ink bottles all over the place. The electrical panel has been scrapped. Another alarm box, massage table. It's brand new, seriously. Spiro. It's depressing. Human stupidity is really depressing. The number of books left here, you could honestly open a library because there are literally books everywhere. It's really... You see baby seats there, bike baby carriers, and that you see it's the same thing. How does it benefit you to rip the radiators off the walls, seriously? I'll never understand this completely idiotic behavior of breaking everything. Car booster seats and... Okay, there are beds. There must have been kids of all ages here, I think. Those are showers. because you find everything. There are kids as young as 2 or 4. There's 4 to 10 years old. There are 10 to 14 years old. A bit of every age group, it seems to me. That's often the case. It's very common that in these camp things there are lots of people. I remember I used to go to summer camp when I was a kid. The whole school would go to camp. We would leave for, I don't remember, I think it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and the whole school would go, both the first years and the 6th, 7th years. Yeah, it's not the same as in France. Basically all the age groups would leave at the same time and we'd all end up in the same place. Obanisto? There, a bar. Well, yeah, welcome. We're in the bar. Oh, damn. The bar is amazing. They could open the shutters there, creating a small bar, like a beach bar. So aren't we, careful, we could fall through the floor. Wasn't there a pool below? We could really fall. Maybe there was still a pool there that I didn't see, because there are... Yes, there's a pool back there. There are lounge chairs. We have to go check it out. I would have been surprised not to find a pool in a vacation resort. But anyway, watch out. The fridge is fine. And then there's the rest. So we're outside of what seemed to be this bar, literally. Then there were some small lounge chairs on the terrace with the pool entrance behind us. Restrooms, a small bistro here and there. That was the entrance to the pool. We'll try to go that way. We'll see if we can still get through. Yeah, it was covered. I'll show it to you from here. There's no point in going any further. But the tarp looks pretty bad. There you go. There used to be a nice pool. It's pretty crazy. So there's a basketball and soccer field over there. And there are still some buildings we haven't seen yet. This place is really big, you see. They really had plenty to have fun with here. A small synthetic terrace with soccer and basketball. It looked impressive, huh? Honestly, it was a cute place. Here I'm on one of those, you know, those soft mats they put down for kids. So we can imagine there were maybe some kids games here too, so you have to picture it a bit, you know? Because, yeah, it's gotten a bit worn out, as they say, since then. What the heck is that over there? Wait, there's literally a tree that crashed down. It must have been struck by lightning. Look at that, it's split. Fortunately, it missed the neighboring building. I'm not sure if I've checked those out, but we can always go back later. Let's go take a look in there. Ah, the old creepy stroller. It's been taken apart. What was hiding in there? This straw? Did they have goats or something? Wow, it's desolate. Is anyone there? What was this place? Didn't they have a nightclub here? Like a room for parties or something? Because this right here, that's a dance floor, you know. In the middle here, we have a big wooden dance floor, and around it, it's surrounded by linoleum. It looks like a joyful mess. Room trash cans. Pieces of glass everywhere. Actually, I'm telling you, it reminds me of a nightclub because there are spotlights all over the place. You see, there was a place to play music. There's a mixing console, you see? Mixing console there with two jog wheels. Here, 2 players, an amplifier. There were also spotlights there too. It was clearly the nightclub area. They probably held parties and dances for the kids there, like school dances in the past. You see, there's that. There's a smoke machine too. There are quite a few things. Flight case. There's a spotlight, seriously. Ah, maybe they used to do shows like fairs or things like that. There's a spotlight, and that was the control room, so that must have been a control room. And actually, we're literally in a small theater. They definitely did things with the kids here. You see, there are still spotlights everywhere. It's a shame it's in this state because it had crazy potential. It was beautiful. For a summer camp, it was super clean. It's really a shame that everything got broken like this. There are rooms you see where, well, look, we finally have windows that aren't broken. It's a miracle it actually exists. Oh, there's someone yelling up there. Damn, it's really everywhere. It's crazy. Ouch, ouch, ouch. How can a place get so damaged in such a short time? That's crazy. So the first damage, it was literally the kids, because the gypsy camp wasn't there when I first found this place. And clearly they're the ones who came to finish the job, pulling out all the cables. That's for sure. It wasn't the kids. Anyone in there? Anything in there? They used to perform outdoors. These are the dressing rooms. See the costumes? There's Maya the bee. There are costumes. There was a small dressing room here to get ready with a mirror, light and everything. It leads to an outdoor stage which was actually covered. We're going to take a walk outside to show you that later, so right now we're actually backstage if I understand correctly. So there must have been a room here indeed, where they would dance a bit, have parties or things like that. Because the floor, the spotlights and all that and the rest, in my opinion, that comes from outside, because actually right now we're in the room. Here in the back there are the dressing rooms, and here actually you would come directly from the dressing rooms through this backstage door. And here, this big thing can open up here, and actually behind it you have the stage. So, they literally put on shows, that's for sure. We're going to check out this stage, and we'll see the other buildings afterwards. But it's quite a structure. It's pretty crazy. They could open everything on the sides, including the doors on rails. Everything was meant to open, and those were likely the chairs set outside for the audience. Most likely the blue ones there. I just went out through a window to go see that. So actually, I don't know if it fell on its own or if they took it apart, but... So here we had the big outdoor stage, you see, which overlooks this square. Over there are wooden bleachers, and they must have placed chairs in front. They used to put on shows here for the kids. You can see it forms a real stage. It's pretty crazy, huh? The state it's in, damn. Well, I think we've covered the first half of the field. Let's go check out the other side. We can see a bit more over here. Oh, look, there he is. I found him. So now we're getting to the lodging area. You see, this is where they were supposed to house the kids. So actually, everything we saw before in terms of housing must have been for the staff, for the supervisors, for the teachers and all that. And now we're going to see what they made the kids sleep in. You see that? That also comes from the auditorium. It's another spotlight. They're everywhere. Their setup was nice. They had little terraces and everything here. Listen, let's go take a look, but let's watch where we step because the floor is a bit unstable. Is anyone here? If we find anyone, it'll likely be in these areas. Any squatters would definitely be here. So these were little rooms, you see, with 2 twin beds each time. We're really in bungalows here. It's all made of a bit flimsy wood. There must have been a small double bed here, though. Then there's a little bathroom area, shower, toilet. We'll go check out the others, but I think they'll all be pretty much the same setup. What's strange for kids is that there's a kitchen. I don't get it. Kids didn't cook for themselves on vacation. That's not possible. That's really strange. So apparently they're back to back, you see. There's another one behind here, and each time they have their own little terrace. To me this feels much more like a campground than something for kids. It feels more like a campground with family bungalows. Each has a small kitchen, no smoking signs everywhere, but it's not set up for kids. And here you see there are the prices for the inspection. If you did something, if you lost a plate, if you broke a glass or something, you see, there were all the prices, and they're already in euros. It was already the time of the euro. I hear voices and people talking outside, but it's not my friend. Alright, let's try to keep a low profile because there's some movement around here. I don't know if it's the scrap dealers who came back, or if it's the guard. If it's the scrap dealers, I don't care. It's not a big deal. They have no more business being here than we do, but if it's the guard, that's a bit more annoying, yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It really feels like a vacation mobile home you rent to come with your family, so why all these extracurricular activities for the kids? This is the moment. Okay, we're behind the pool now. Share your thoughts, maybe you even know this place, and if you do, please don't share the address in the comments. It's always nice, but given this place's condition, there's little left to break. Probably nothing left to steal either, but still, I believe it's never a good idea to share addresses, but I don't know what you think about it. I can't tell if this place didn't become a campsite at some point, or if it wasn't just a campsite to begin with. And maybe we have the wrong information about it being some kind of summer camp, but at the same time, there are the classrooms. There are all those things that make you think it was really made for kids. If you have any idea, that's what the comment section is for. What the hell is this? That's when they pulled cables through the conduits and everything fell from the ceiling. And that, you see, those are really children's beds. You can't put adults in there. Ah, okay, it was connected, got it. That means there's a kitchen here. You're in one bungalow, and actually here, you're in another bungalow. So do you see the double doors? Those were airlocks. I don't know why they took apart the water heaters, man. There are water heaters everywhere. You see, look, they pulled them out. They stripped the water heaters. Maybe to take the faucets, the valves, the brass parts. That's the only explanation I have. Otherwise, it's the same setup. Clearly, you see, every time it's the same type of bungalow, so you always have the small double room for the parents, the hallway that connects to the next apartment. The kitchen area, that's what was supposed to be their couch. Actually, it's a sofa bed. You have a bit of storage, a small bathroom, the small room with 2 bunk beds, and the small room with a single bed. And so they all have pretty much the same layout, with just a few differences. At the same time, when you build this kind of place, it's often not too expensive, and when you want to keep costs low, you make everything the same. Because you buy in bulk, and that way, it costs much less. Lost track of my colleague again, another water heater. It's funny, it's barely different, but it's the same kind of thing, you know. Because here, it's separated with this. Here you have the same thing, you have the little double room.
Here, it's 2 single beds. Yeah, you have different setups, but it's kind of the same thing. I'm still going to keep looking around because, well, you never know if we'll find something crazy. I just thought it would be good if I remembered to close the doors behind me, but at the same time, everything is absolutely open.
And there might be stray cats, wild animals that have come to squat in the buildings. Since it's winter and the weather is terrible, I wouldn't want to lock them inside. So you see, whatever is open, I leave it open, and if I come across a closed door, I close it behind me. So you see, yes, they really called these lodges, you see, so you have this here and all that. So maybe it was meant for families to come with their children. There were activities for the parents and extracurricular activities for the kids. And so that would explain why we found classrooms, but also why next to it there were activities that were maybe a bit more for adults, let's say. What's certain is that it's really falling apart. But you see, this one, it's all rotten, the wood, it's really leaning badly like this, it's leaning like this one. It's not going to stay standing for very long. Maybe I shouldn't go inside, since you need to be cautious when wooden structures become fragile.
Be careful here, it's always a little dangerous.
It's not a place where you'll definitely die, but you could easily twist your ankle on a broken board. Over there, it's completely devastated. There's not even a kitchen anymore, and there are really guys taking things apart. On the other hand, they've got serious rat problems here. There are rat traps all over the place. At the same time, considering where it is, we're right on the edge of the forest, so it wouldn't surprise me if there are a lot of critters around. We're definitely not going to check out every single mobile home. I really feel like, well, they're not all exactly the same, but like there are about 3 different layouts, and otherwise everything else is pretty much the same. Over there are buildings that aren't the same color at all, because right now, all the ones we see are in those shades, like white and green, and then over there they're white and red. From what I see, they're blue. That's different. Alright, I'm still going to quickly rush through the tour to check. You never know, sometimes we find crazy stuff by chance, but it seems the further we go, the less there is, and more has been taken apart. You see, literally there's nothing left, not even the bathroom. It's been cleared out? That's crazy. Is it the gypsies who are clearing out the place, or is there something else going on? Because, well, it could totally be the guys from the camp next door who are slowly picking away at the contents of the buildings to make a bit of money with it. The copper, they've already started stripping that, but it could also potentially be the owners who are slowly starting to dismantle things to do something else. I don't know, you see, it's not the same anymore. Well, it's not the same, it's just the colors that change. At any moment it could be the same inside, but what's certain is that the colors are completely different now. Water heater, it's the Urbex of water heaters. You see, the water heater was new. The manual is still there, which is surprising, and there are a few things. It looked like it had been renovated anyway, it's weird. Weren't they forced to abandon the project in the middle of renovations? Those bullet marks over there are from rocks. Maybe that's it. Maybe they started the work and then realized the budget wasn't enough, that it was going to be too expensive. Maybe there was too much to redo, and so they gave up on it. I don't know. Do you know? On one hand, you still get the impression that it was abandoned suddenly. You really see it like... We closed at the end of the summer, planning to reopen the following year, and in the end, we never reopened the next year, nor the year after, nor any of the years after that. It gives that impression. There was even a tennis court here. Sorry for the road noise. We're next to a highway, so there's some traffic. Maybe that's also what messed things up, the noise. Because we're in the middle of nowhere, but we're in the middle of nowhere right next to a highway. So let me tell you, you can really hear the cars. And even inside the buildings, because since these little wooden houses are barely insulated, you probably didn't have the best nights of your life in there. I think here it's just basic foam mattresses like that, just foam cubes, there's nothing on them. It's while people sleep there. But yeah, that's it. It's just that it's very dusty here. You can really see the dust marks on the furniture, you see. But other than that, it was relatively clean. Honestly, I don't know what those voices we heard earlier were, but it seems like they've moved away. I think the cameras are dead. Honestly, we've been walking around in here for maybe 45 minutes. I think if a guard were here, he would have caught us by now, but I'm not sure. We saw 3 cameras in the place near the entrance, and the place is big, so maybe he's looking for us inside. It's, you know, at some point you turn a corner and suddenly, oops, hello, look at this. It's filthy. Anyone? I reflexively ask the question. I think when someone does show up, they won't answer me. They'll just knock me out. Hey, look at that spider web on the wall. Coffee again? How old is it? 2018. See, that's pretty old, huh? 6 years. 6 years of abandonment. For 6 years, the place stayed like new, spotless. All it takes is a group of young kids to go wander inside and post it on TikTok. And 6 months later, here is the utter desolation we see before our eyes. It's really a crappy network, that Chinese thing, damn, seriously, but we can't really blame the networks, because I do the same on YouTube, on Insta, on other things, you know, even on TikTok I'm on there too. We should blame the way things are done. Visiting places at a certain time isn't the problem. Going on adventures, doing urbex, that's at your own risk. It's a bit legally questionable, but when you do what we're doing now, you see, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm walking with my phone, filming what I see and explaining it to you. This time it's a shopping cart. But we're not here to break into places, smash doors, break windows or steal things. No, that's not something you do. We're now dealing with a generation of young people who don't understand that. And who just come to destroy, break, loot, steal, vandalize, and leave places that were spotless in a terrible state. That's today's youth, the young people of France. Kids we can't manage to educate properly because their parents clearly don't care at all. And that's the worst part of it all. If you're not ready to give your kids a real education, I mean a real education, not a TikTok education, then don't have kids. Literally, stop having kids if you're not going to take care of them, guys, because they turn into people who do whatever they want. I'm sorry, but it has to be said. Today's youth is really out of control. It wasn't like that when I was young. We used to build forts in the forest, play in the woods, play hide and seek all over town. We did commando missions with ball-bearing guns. We pretended we were James Bond. We also did some urbex, exploring old Swiss bunkers and similar places. We never broke anything, we never broke a door to get into a place, we never stole anything from anywhere, and unfortunately that's really been lost. I'm also starting to realize something. Aside from the land being completely ruined by wild boars, that's definitely wild boar, I'd recognize it anywhere. Actually, it was educational content. There are lots of different types of trees and I just realized it, but actually for each type of tree there's a little sign that explains where it comes from. What kind of plant it was and everything. You see, it still has an educational purpose. But really, the wild boars have totally torn up the ground, but actually there's a hole in the fence over there, so I think that's where they're coming in. By the way, if you follow the tracks, they come from there. That's all we need. Don't come here at night. If you meet a herd of wild boars, you won't act tough. I was charged by one while hunting once. Never again. But damn, look at the roof, the waves it's making. It's hard to show you, but really it's making waves. Actually, it's raining here. It's raining from the roof. It's literally raining from the roof. It's soaked everywhere. Do you see that big black stain there? This building is going to collapse. It's going to collapse very soon. We're not going any further. It's flooded everywhere here. It stinks too, and I think that's from the guys. And when they come to scrap things, you see how they tear down the false ceilings and everything. They might move the tiles a bit. Or maybe it's because apparently there was a tree here too, it was right there. And yeah, that's literally it. Okay, never mind. It's literally the tree that fell on it. Look, oh damn, yeah, it went through the... Oh crap, look. The tree went right through the house. Seriously, it broke on it and ended up in pieces there. So you see, that's clear proof that the property hasn't been maintained for a long time. It must have been really strong wind to break it and tear off the roof. That's intense. Alright, blue bungalow now. Will there be any difference between the red, green and blue ones? I don't think so. Well, I clearly think it was all the same. They didn't bother, they made everything the same for everyone because it must have been much cheaper. And you see here, look here, they tore out the sink, well, the faucet from the sink, you see, so it messed up the sink because actually they're taking back. That's why every time you see an urbex, you'll very often see that sink smashed like that. It's not just guys coming to break them, it's actually that they break them by ripping out the faucets, because the faucets are made of brass, and brass is worth money, they resell it. And actually, what do these guys do? Quite simply, instead of taking the time to take it apart, because that takes time, they just give it a big kick, it breaks, they rip out the faucet, and then they go sell it for scrap. It's the same with electrical cables. Every time the guys rip out the panel and take everything inside. They even cut the wires at the ceiling. That's the first step, and then the second step is they come and tear down the ceiling to pull out the wires that are inside. And that's what we saw in the big rooms next door. There are no small savings with the gypsies. They take everything, leave nothing behind. This is crazy, but I swear, if we came here on a nice day, we'd come back on a nice day. Just not on weekends, since they know people are around then. But if you come back, I don't know, on a Tuesday at 1:30 here, I guarantee you'll run into guys with wire cutters, overalls and vans while they're loading up copper. That's for sure. On the other hand, yeah, I'm starting to understand the reason for abandoning it. Actually, all the trees fell down on most of the buildings. The land is a swamp, we're in a flood zone, apparently. Our feet are soaked from wading through water all morning. Maybe that's part of it too. The land was kind of bad, the place was starting to need some work. And at some point, all that costs money. There's still a tree lying there, there's still a broken tree there, there's still a broken tree branch up there. Literally all the trees are falling down. And the ground, you see, it's...
There, I think it can be flooded.
We're wading in crap, everything is soft, everything is soaked. It's all ruts, holes and bumps. This land makes no sense. I think that's why I gave up. There was probably a landslide, or they realized the place was just a swamp and nothing could be done. Either way, there aren't many options. The land became swampy, prone to flooding. Well, maybe that wasn't planned from the start. And in the end, we're wading through water and it all went downhill. And there you go, there are still some things that make you think that too. That came from this tree. It's literally half the tree that fell. So yes, reason for giving up. I think we've got it here. It's just that there must have been a tree here too. Actually, everything is being uprooted. Literally, the ground itself is being uprooted. Here, you see, they broke the electrical panels and actually they pulled the conduits out of the ground because they're going to scrap what's inside there. Because yeah, where you have the most of the big cables, it's in the ground. But on the other hand, the Suzuker, there isn't up to code. I don't know how we missed that when we came in, but we know what it is. I won't hide the name from you. Given how rundown this place is, there's nothing left to break. So, this is where we are. It was actually a holiday village, not a summer camp, but there were likely many activities for the kids. And there indeed, the little character you see on everything, that was Hector. And it was a botanical trail where actually there were the different names of the trees, the species, everything, and there you had all the species listed, you see? So there you go, that's the first building we made. Here is where the stage was, the performance hall. It was there. You see, here is the pool, and here is the tennis court we had in the back, and here are all the building blocks. So we built all of them, except for the last two, well, the last three there, but that's because they're all basically the same. Well, like that, once again, we went all the way with things. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, more than ever, subscribe, leave a like, a little comment, a boost. It's always appreciated. You have this option now. You can give up to 3 boosts per week. It helps the video get better referenced. So if you like this content, a little boost is always appreciated. See you next week for more crazy stuff. Take care. Bye.